Long, long time ago, I can still remember when a PM paper made me smile. And even though the staff grew small, I never did suspect at all that I might be on the CJ in a while. But Ruddy PJ made me shiver with every staff talk he'd deliver. Bad news from the boardroom, I couldn't take no more gloom. I can't remember if I cried when the Metro front was moved inside, but something touched me deep inside the day the PM died. So bye-bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die. Oh, this'll be the paper to die. Did you write for the Times back when it was in its prime, when it laid the CJ low? And do you remember Michael Wines and Mary Caldwell's funny lines, and when Linda Raymond paced the floor so slow? Well, I can see them even now, the ghosts of Waller and Van Howe, the investigative team. Seems like it was all a dream. Investigative features on the front page, and three-part series were the rage when Mike Davies held center stage before the PM died. But now I'm singing, everybody, bye-bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die. This'll be the paper to die. Well, back then we were in the race, with no shortage of staff or space, and deadlines were allowed to bend. Well, with Roger Thomas in the slot, remember all the scoops we got when the red flash was the PM paper's friend. We had some oddballs in our crew, like Halverson and Fagan too. We knew how to play, while the Courier was brave. I was a young cub on the police beat when half the fun was to compete, and I knew the place was kinda neat before the PM died. Everybody, but now I'm singing bye-bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die. This'll be the paper to die. But while we played puff basketball, circulation began to fall, with no way to reverse the trend. And it became no fun at all to be the feisty underdog when our budget and our staff were wearing thin. Then Davies took his act away, and PJ came to town to stay. The late editions fell, and the Metro front as well. And our zeal to probe big business went when the chamber shared our president. We should have folded up our tent before the PM died. Everybody, now we're singing bye-bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die.
This'll be the paper to die.
Now for 2 years, this was in 1987, for 2 years we've been in a stall, waiting for the axe to fall, studied by Pardue and PJ. Sorry, Len. And we never really understood why those strategic planners could not realize that we outsold the CJ. Now to some, it came as quite a shock when Sally Bingham sold her stock, but we'd been merged before, so we couldn't feel it anymore. But still it opened up our eyes to be Courier journalized and struggle to be recognized the day the PM died. Here we go. Now I'm singing bye bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But the good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die.
This'll be the paper to die.
I met a man in running shoes, and I asked him for some happy news. He took my quarter and he turned around, and later when he gave it back, he was dressed in gray and black, and he said he'd bought a jewel for his crown. And the critics said they'd bet the CJ would change under Gannett, but I didn't listen. I knew what they were missing. I didn't fret that I'd been sold to a corporation large and cold, but I knew we'd all somehow grow old the day the PM died. So bye bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die. This'll be the paper to die. One last time. Bye bye to my Louisville Times. You've been swallowed by the CJ and I think it's a crime. But those good old boys who helped the Binghams get by said that this'll be the paper to die.